As the Crystal PvP community gets bigger, it's important to consider how it's changed and how some mechanics detract from the value of the game mode overall. In order to truly play the best Crystal PvP, we have to consider what its bare essentials are, and then strip down the game mode to exclusively those. Welcome to the Real Crystal PvP Guide. Before exiting the pre-match area, it's important to consider where you will be picking up your dirt. Dirt is important since it allows you to block explosion damage and is the only other block you can work with besides obsidian. After organizing your hotbar, pick a spot to get dirt. The quickest way to kill an opponent is to place a dirt, then obsidian on top, then a crystal. You can either punch the player up in order to expose their hitbox to the crystal and kill them, or you can wind charge their feet in order to hit them higher for more airtime. Since you only have one piece of obsidian, it's important that you are mindful when you place it. To obtain dirt while getting ready to crystal, dig into the earth in a line in order to automatically make placing your obsidian safer. This method serves as one of the most defensive since it's easy to dig into a 2x1 hole and avoid all damage. This method can kill the opponent when they either come too close without digging down or are wind charged out of their own trench. Crystal uses your dug up dirt in order to create a safety barrier between the person detonating the crystal and the explosion. It works by placing your obsidian, then 2 blocks of dirt in front of yourself, and lastly placing down your crystal in order to kill your opponent. This method is very safe since the 2 blocks can be placed in any orientation around the crystal in order to defend yourself. However, this method does allow for blocking the obsidian or looping around it from a considerable distance. In the fake Crystal PvP, it's important to note that explosion damage starts at the feet. Normally, this would mean that a crystal placed at face level does little to no damage. However, in the real Crystal PvP, the lack of armor makes this fatal. Without any armor, your head being a pixel next to the crystal will result in a death. There are 3 main uses to wind charges in this game mode. The first is distancing. When wind charges hit another player, it can knock them away from you about 2.5 blocks. This usage of them allows for healing and eating, but can be very wasteful. The second wind charge use is for the kill shot. Since wind charges thrown at a player's feet knock them up, using a tower crystal and a wind charge allows you to get a quick and safe kill. Final use for wind charges is to counter a trench playstyle. Wind charges serve as an effective counter to this playstyle since they launch players out of the hole. In addition, a wind charge thrown next to a player at waist height will still give enough height for a kill. Cake feeds the player for 7 hunger bars and 2.8 saturation. Since cake must be placed down, it's important to wait to eat your cake till you are close to 7 hunger bars down in order to ensure your opponent cannot steal your cake. Instant Health 1 heals for 4 hearts and takes 1.6 seconds to consume. It's important to drink Instant Health when you need it as you have an excess. In addition, there is little risk to drinking it while being punched by your opponent since the fist only does half a heart of damage. There's one final strategy that you can use if you still have your 1 obsidian and any amount of crystals. So if your opponent is chasing after you and trying to get a quick ending to the game, what you should try and go ahead and do is place down your obsidian, then place down your crystal, and then instantly punch it to perform the "I'm not losing, we losing."